So I now want to shift to Matthew Stafford because there was a lot of questions about Matthew Stafford once he landed with the Los Angeles Rams. A lot of people had not consistently followed his career in Detroit just because Detroit, they never were really on nationally televised games. It's a little bit of a smaller market, crazy enough, compared to some other teams. I know Detroit is a fairly big city, but when it comes to football, we don't think of the Detroit Lions as this juggernaut of a franchise. In fact, what do we think about when we think of the Lions? We think of Barry Sanders retiring early, Calvin Johnson retiring early, the franchise having not won a playoff game in ages. And the Lions were lucky enough to land Matthew Stafford with the first overall pick over a decade ago. And while Stafford has put up Hall of Fame level numbers in Detroit, he hadn't won a lot of big games. And look, I was one of those people that said, hey, let's not knock Matthew Stafford for this because where a quarterback lands and the support that a quarterback gets, it's everything. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady landed with an all-time great head coach in Bill Belichick, and throughout his career, he's always had great offensive lines, has always had great defenses, and Bill Belichick has taken care of the special teams and things like that. He's always been at a distinct advantage, Aaron Rodgers. He gets to sit behind Brett Favre, lands with the Green Bay Packers, a well-established organization that's all about winning. They put solid players around Aaron Rodgers throughout his prime. He's had to overcome some things, but the point is, Aaron Rodgers did not land with a bad organization. Russell Wilson lands with a Seahawks team that was very talented. And we saw very quickly that, hey, Seattle's got good players. All they needed was a great quarterback, and Russell Wilson was that guy. You look at some quarterbacks that have failed in the past couple of years. They've failed because of the situation around them, where the offensive line's been bad, the coaching staff has not put them in a great position to succeed. And while Matthew Stafford was a victim of that, Matthew Stafford also showed that, hey, I'm still a very talented player. I've always thought that Matthew Stafford was underrated. And here's the thing. The truth has been revealed about Matthew Stafford. He's always been able to win big games. He's always been able to get to a Super Bowl. He proved in his first year with a new team in a loaded NFC and in a loaded division that he can get to a Super Bowl if you put great players around Matthew Stafford. If you put bad players around Stafford, he's not going to win because there are very few quarterbacks out there that can overcome dysfunction. And the truth is, Matthew Stafford has very quickly exposed the Detroit Lions organization, because look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff once was in the MVP conversation with the Los Angeles Rams. He once got them to a Super Bowl. And guess what? Jared Goff has not looked too good with the Detroit Lions. And again, not saying Jared Goff is bad. All I'm saying is, if you play for a team like Washington, like Jacksonville, like the New York Jets, like the Chicago Bears, teams that over the past, 20 to 25 years have been a little dysfunctional, have not always gotten the quarterback situation right, have ran through head coaches, just have not been able to establish a stable culture, players are going to struggle, okay? Now, there are some players that are great no matter what. I think that Aaron Rodgers could have been great no matter where he landed. I think Deshaun Watson, same thing with him. I mean, despite a lot of dysfunction around him in Houston, he still finds a way to play at an MVP level, okay? So I don't think Matthew Stafford is quite on the level of, he's this god, he's this amazing quarterback. He's great, he's very talented. And I do think that Matthew Stafford can get into the Hall of Fame one day. I just don't think he'll ever be in the inner sanctum of being an all-time great quarterback, but that's okay. There are very few of those quarterbacks. But Stafford, he has established very quickly that the Lions organization is not very good. In 1 year of leaving, Stafford has proven people wrong. And you really get a sense of how valuable a player is or an employee is when you see what life looks like for them when they actually leave that said company. When Matthew Stafford was playing for the Lions, oddly enough, a couple of years, they actually had a chance to win. He got them to the playoffs a couple of years, didn't win a playoff game, but got them there a couple of times, put up really good numbers. But now, you look at the Lions, man, they're the worst team in the league, arguably. I mean, they got the second overall pick That never happened when Matthew Stafford was there. And now Matthew Stafford's playing in the Super Bowl. And I told people, listen, Stafford's not the problem. It's the Lions organization. People looked at the quarterback win stat and said Stafford's below 500. Well, yeah, no duh. When your coach is Matt Patricia, when you have a bad defense, a bad offensive line, and when you're playing for a bad company, and again, I'm not trying to bash the Lions to the point where I'm saying that there are bad people working there. All I'm saying is compared to other organizations, the Lions, they don't match up because they haven't won enough. And when's the last time the Lions have won a playoff game? It's been a long time. Stafford wins 3 playoff games. Actually 2, pardon me. If he wins 3, that means he would have won Super Bowl 56 over the Bengals. But yeah, the point is, Stafford's winning playoff games immediately with the Rams. So I think Matthew Stafford, I'm so happy for the guy. He's finally caught a break. He's finally in a situation where it's not all on him. He can rely on the running game. He can rely on his defense. He has a coaching staff that will adapt. I'm so happy for Matthew Stafford. He's playing in Super Bowl 56 versus Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. And regardless, at least in my opinion, of whatever Matthew Stafford does throughout the rest of his career, I think he's proved that the Lions organization just flat out isn't very good, whether he wins a Super Bowl in the future or not. That's my opinion. That's how I feel.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.